Are you freaking out trying to find the perfect dye for your cosplay character's hair? Do you constantly wonder how it's possible for those genetic freaks of nature to get all those crazy colors? Or are you just bored and thought, that video in my recommended section looks alright? I personally asked myself these questions as I was watching My Hero Academia one episode behind as always on Crunchyroll because I'm too cheap to buy premium and wondered, how did Deku's mom get so No, I wondered, how is it possible for these people to always have perfect and pristine colorful hair? Now, I know some of you may have only clicked on this video so that you could immediately that dislike button because you think that this video is for weebs. All I ask is that you hash it out in the comments instead and let me plunge forward into the science of your favorite heroes and villains' luscious locks. There are many different anime shows that have crazy hairstyles. Just look at Naruto, Dragon Ball, One Piece, and countless others that have hair to rival Lady Gaga. So you might be wondering, why did I choose My Hero Academia? Is it because I think it's the best anime by far? The answer, I thought it would be cool anime to do this off of because of the superpower element of the show, and all the cool hairstyles present. You can stop typing your 10-paragraph comment on their show about how Ice Skaters is the best now. Everybody likes their own thing and I'm not trying to spark all the anger hiding inside of someone's autistic tendencies. Before I get into how hair coloring works and the genetics behind it all, I want to talk about the show that I'll be referencing throughout. If you've been living inside of a box and don't know what My Hero Academia is, let me give you the super easy and quick summary. Everybody in the world has relatively recently developed the ability to use quirks. That is the word for superpowers in the show, by the way. And some use it for good, some use it for evil, and others are just boring civilians that don't do anything with their cool powers. The show focuses on
damn nerd.
That is Izuku Midoriya, also known as Deku. He is quirkless, that means superpowerless, but desperately wants to help people like his favorite, not to mention the best, hero All Might. One day he gets the chance to meet him, and after proving that he's worthy, Deku gets to inherit All Might's quirk. Now little Izuku gets to go to the Hero Academy, hence the name My Hero Academia, and train with the rest of his super powerful peers. The show is filled with villain attacks, training montages, intense action scenes, and what the fans really all want, the possibility for romance. Oh yeah, and Deku almost dies each time he uses his power until he can eventually learn to control it. But that's besides the point, let's push forward. Let's start off by getting an understanding of how hair and hair colors come to be in the first place. Hair, in anime and the real world, consists mainly of keratin. Keratin is a protein that gives structure and protection to your hair and other parts of your body like your nails and skin. The actual color of your hair is determined by the amount of a pigment called melanin that you have. There are two types of melanin that your body has to pick and choose from. There's eumelanin, which gives people more of a black or brown hair color, and there's pheomelanin, which gives people that red tinge to their hair. As a person, you can have a ranging amount of either type of melanin. Loss of eumelanin gives you that pitch black hair that Sero and Yaoyorozu have. Just a wee bit of eumelanin and you get that blonde hair found with Bakugo and Denki. Give yourself a heaping portion of pheomelanin and you come out with Kirishima's red hair. The amount of either type of melanin that is in your genes is determined by your parents. I don't want to bore you with a repeat from your last biology class and torture with Punnett squares, so just stick with your parents having a say in the outcome of your hair. If your mom has black hair, and so did your dad, kid, you're probably going to get black hair. If your mom has brown hair, and your dad has blonde hair, you might get one or the other. If your mom has white hair, and your dad has red hair, then you're going to get half red and half white. Wait, no, that doesn't make any sense. Maybe it would be pink hair. No, that doesn't work either. This is where the anime has some explaining to do. The only hair colors that humans can have naturally is black, brown, blonde, red, white, and gray. Other colors like pink, green, purple, etc. have to be dyed in. Now let me address the problem with this that I know some of you have already started angrily typing into the comments about. My Hero Academia is a world full of superheroes. It might just be that their superpower have an impact on their hair color, not just genes. This could be how you get that purple color in Mineta and Shinsho's hair and that dark green in Tsuyu's hair. However, I found a glaring flaw in that argument of yours. One word, Deku. We are led to believe that little Izuku was born without any quirk at all. Though 80% of the population gets some kind of ability, Deku fits in the 20% that doesn't. He doesn't have a quirk to change the color of his hair from ordinary to green. even if you are one of those people that think that maybe Deku's quirk was stolen from him by All For One. I have a counter to that as well. Wouldn't Deku's hair turn blonde whenever he was given All Might's quirk? Although seeing Deku with hair that no amount of gel could ever hope to replicate would have been cool, it didn't happen. Have I crushed your hairstyling dreams in the hopes of having a baby with rainbow hair? There is a way for your child to be born with whatever color you might want through genetic engineering. Remember whenever you used to play Minecraft and would try to dye a sheep tons of different colors? Well, sadly genetic engineering isn't quite that easy as chucking flowers at live animals, but it is a good visual to have in mind. Genetic engineering, as our friend Google defines it, is the deliberate modification of the characteristics of an organism by manipulating its genetic material. So say you wanted to give a pig the ability to fly. If you knew how to manipulate the genetic information in order to give a pig wings, you might be able to prove the once impossible possible. This works the same way as with hair. If you wanted to give your child blue hair, you might be able to convince a scientist to go into its DNA. This type of changing and modifying human DNA is currently in the works and is unethical for some people, so you might have some trouble with this route. Lastly, I'll talk about dyeing your hair. This might be a way that Deku could get that color that he has. This type of hair color changing is mainly done in one of three ways. The first way to do it is hair lightening. You might want to use this for a lighter version of your natural hair color. Your hairstylist would use bleach to remove all or some of the color and the melanin of your hair. This process is pretty irreversible, so you would want to make sure that you're prepared to stick with it. The second method is temporary hair color, also referred to as semi-permanent hair color. This type deposits dyes on the outside of the shaft of the hair, or small pigments that slip inside of the hair shaft itself. Eventually, shampooing or long use will dislodge and get rid of all the temporary hair color. The last method is permanent hair color change. With this way, you have to actually open the cuticle of the hair shaft in order to thoroughly deposit the dye of choice inside the hair. Sometimes you must first use the hair lightening process to go from a very dark color like black or brown to something light pink or blonde. These are all basic definitions. If you are actually interested in changing hair colors, ask your stylist about it. They love to talk about this stuff. Sadly, however, I don't think that it's likely that Deku is dyeing his hair. We have seen that he has the same majestic green hair that he does as a teen as he does as a child. I don't think that he would make the decision to dye his hair green that young. Even if he did want to dye his hair, wouldn't he want it to be blonde like All Might? Anyway, to wrap it up, I think that there are three possibilities for the hair present in this show. 1. It was all genetically engineered to be whatever color as a child. 2. Even though unlikely, maybe they just dye their hair all these crazy colors. And 3. Maybe I'm just overthinking all of this and I should just let the writers have some creative freedom. I hope you all enjoyed this video on a question that you probably never thought to ask. What do you think? Are you ready to make the jump to orange hair? Or can I expect to see a rainbow-haired baby in the news soon? Let me know in the comments along with anything else that comes to your mind after watching this. Hopefully you liked the video, and if you did, I guess like the video, but please, don't subscribe.